November 22nd, 2010. This is Diehard Gamer Radio Show 101.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Broadcasting to you live from Neo's apartment.
Yeah. From Radio Free Moscow.
Yeah.
Comes from ones and zeros.
So, welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio. I am Murdock, and with
Are you
me,
sure about that?
yes, I am very sure.
You said it kind of slow there. I didn't know if you were questioning yourself.
I'm trying to run a professional operation
He's-
here, and
he's-
it's not.
He's
it's not
questioning himself
working.
under a
I'm
naked
not buying
bulb hanging in the middle of a windowless room.
You know, that was my my life in high school. I just wanted to
That was
mention-
by the way, that segues straight into our Thomas Edison invented the breast thing because it's a naked bulb.
You're adding spoilers to our
I-
upcoming comic.
Yeah,
here.
nobody's watching this. Nobody's
Oh.
gonna read the comic either. So
No,
it's
no,
not
that
spoiling
one
for
guy,
anything.
That one guy might read it.
No.
There's gonna be
That one guy.
No.
we're gonna have a panel on NDK about it. There'll be like 30 people there, and it's like, who the hell
It'll
are
be
you
as
guys?
many ridiculous number of people that showed up as showed up to that panel that you and Walker did.
Yeah, I still don't understand
Like the
that.
200 people that showed up to hear you guys just talk about old video games that you
I think
played.
you just had the right time slot or something.
Apparently.
Yeah, I guess.
I was like, look, I walked past that line. I'm like, so this is part of the line for the masquerade, right? Nope. It's for Murdock's panel. Like, what? Do you people know what line you're in? I mean, seriously. I was
Yeah,
asking
I
the
was
guy who was at the
surprised.
beginning of the line. I'm like, going, really? How long you been waiting here? It's been like an hour. And like, really?
Yeah, I have that draw. So, anyway, so with me is Steve and Brian. John is dealing with
Straining spaghetti using a $75 strainer, most likely.
that's a really it
You have to get that sort of thing. When you get
It's
when
just
you
that
get a
time of
kitchen,
month.
when you spend as much of as he did on a kitchen, it's got to be stocked with stuff that's just
He's got some nice stuff.
insane.
Oh,
So
$75 strainer, huh?
yeah, $75 colander.
Really?
It's made of tungsten.
It's got a look to it.
Well, that makes the spaghetti taste better, right?
Yeah.
So,
It ensures it's al dente.
Well, it comes better. It comes out looking better, so you just
Yeah.
assume it's better.
yeah.
okay.
Well, I mean, you look better when you're doing it because you look like one of those guys from PBS that has like the really high tech kitchen utensils all the time.
Oh, notice you said PBS and not like Food Network.
No, Food Network's a trash network, guys. There's like nobody on Food Network knows what they're talking about. The folks on the other IRC channel I hang out on, every once in a while they post me like these YouTube videos of these ridiculous people on the Food Network, and I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about cooking, but this is really trashy. Like you went to Walmart and you got a couple inch food cakes and then you made it into a cake. It doesn't make it as good as somebody who knows how to make a cake. It's not the same. I don't care.
For programming.
It's like, and the whole show, that whole particular show is just how do you buy things that are cheap off the shelf and make them look like things that are expensive, but they
Well,
don't
kinda getting
taste
that
like
thing in
stuff
the
that is
comedy, so-
expensive.
Ah,
It's ridiculous.
How to go
Alright.
from trashy to stylish.
And sometimes they just look nasty. I mean, I'm looking and going, people put that in their bodies. I mean, I watch a lot of porn and I'm okay with what those people put in their bodies. But this
Hello.
cake,
know what that
no
is.
way.
Yeah, the cake.
I don't know what the hell that is.
so you're saying that there's so you're saying that so you're saying that
the
there's
cake looked like it was a caldera volcano. It's like, what is this? It's going to give you some sort of silicate lung cancer or something.
Well, some of the man-made ingredients that go into that shit. You know.
Well, or the cake's going to explode and destroy a village or something.
This just in: Pompeii was destroyed by a Twinkie.
Yeah. It was a Twinkie 5 miles long.
So anyway,
Size of Long Island.
Joe versus the volcano.
so we should start with the news because it's
Many a slore found their doom in this. I can't remember how that line goes.
all right. Are you done, Steve?
There's all sorts of Ghostbusters and you can just keep going.
All right. So first up, the Zombies board game is coming to XBLA, which would interest people who still play the board game.
God, I haven't played that game in like 5
I
years.
haven't played it in like 5 years.
It's still on my shelf at home.
I don't know,
just gaining dust.
It's zombies. It'll sell.
True.
People will buy anything with zombies on it
Actually,
these
some
days.
of the board game ports they put on there have been really cool.
Yeah, Carcassonne was really well done.
Carcassonne was really good. Settlers was awesome. Settlers of Catan's on there.
I
love
heard
playing that,
Ticket
too.
to Ride wasn't that bad on it either.
Gotta
I haven't-
ticket
I
to
played the
ride.
demo of that. It was actually a lot of fun, but I didn't buy the game.
I just picked up Carcassonne because it was they had it for free on Xbox. For 1 year they were just giving it away
Huh.
for whatever reason. So I said,
I
for
paid
$0,
it, but I got it
I'll
for,
just
like,
pick it up.
300 points or something. It was really cheap,
Yeah.
but it was totally worth the money I paid for it. I'm not angry about it.
So I'm sure that people are interested in zombies
Oh yeah,
and
they still sell.
and are kind of scared to play Resident Evil.
Just slap zombies or vampires on it, and somebody will buy it.
Yeah, it's an endless fascination.
So next up, Clayfighter coming to the DSiWare, which would interest Steve because he's a big Clayfighter fan. Earthworm Jim is a playable character. I'm sure he'll get all the other shiny properties.
I want to just download Mugen, and I'll have it. I'll have all those.
That's true. Although
Yeah, come out on OnLive next. So.
We were watching a Mugen video of Optimus Prime versus Megatron on YouTube, and Roger pointed out something that I know I kind of intuited, but I didn't really make it to the front of my brain. Is that some of the special moves that the two characters had were those funny energy weapons that they had only in the first miniseries. Like their hands turned into Megatron's hand turned into a Morning Star, and
I
Optimus
remember.
Prime's turned into this battle axe, and they had those I'm going, wow, somebody's really obsessed with Transformers because that's something that only someone who is a big fan and has the ability to make stuff for Mugen would do, and that's a rare combination. So
I had totally forgotten about that.
yeah.
So they didn't even show up in
And
the
they
movie
have
or
the touch.
anything.
Then they have they
Oh.
play the touch in the back.
Yeah.
You got the touch. Okay.
So I'm sure Clayfighter will be interesting to the three people who are interested
Still
in playing
interested in
Will
Clayfighter.
Vinton, the fighting game.
Yeah.
California Raisins versus Chicken Run.
Yeah.
So next up, APB, renamed APB Reloaded. It will relaunch in the first half of 2011 as free to play.
Who bought this?
I
I know.
It wasn't a Korean company. It was somebody. It was a company I'd heard of before.
don't know.
But I
who
can't
bought-
remember who
I
it
don't
was.
know who bought it, but I'm sure they found enough change in the sofa to buy the property.
Yeah.
It probably took 2 or 3 sofas, but they pulled it together.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. They had some guy. It's like, we need to borrow $20 from you.
It'd be
Well, no, that seems to be the way a lot of those games are going now. If you're not like a AAA or even a AA MMO, you put out a thing where you sell the game with a subscription for half a year, and then you go free to play, and then just go with it. And it seems to keep these games alive somehow.
Yeah, it's. Although I don't remember there being content in APB.
I didn't get to play it. I ended up on the beta for it or something like that, and never got around to playing it. So.
Was that? It's kind of like Auto Assault.
Like Auto Assault. It was almost was like Auto Assault. Though I was aware that that APB had gone into full post beta release mode, unlike Auto Assault.
Oh.
autoerotic.
So we'll need to go back to this company's Twitter feed to see how bad the game is doing.
That's what really. I mean, there was a demo. There was a 14-day demo for it, and going to their website to get it just killed anything that I wanted to get it because reading that Twitter feed was just awful. You just don't put that kind of thing. If your Twitter feed is the majority of your Twitter feed is bad feedback, don't put it on your front page. It's
Yeah.
just not good PR.
So anyway, that's Steve's helpful advice for upcoming publishers of
I'm
video
not
games.
saying, I'm just saying.
Yes.
It's New York advice.
Yeah.
So next up, a Sakura Wars browser game is in development for those who want to play a dating sim on their browser and don't have an eHarmony account. I'm not sure how that works out.
Strangely enough, the dating is not simulated on eHarmony. It's,
Are you sure about that?
well, I mean, you are most likely going to be selected out, but
and you don't have to pilot a mech to your
it's a little
date.
it's a little bit more like a choose your own adventure type thing. You have to figure out. You have to put your finger in like the where you made the decision to look ahead and see if you if it's an ending that you like, and if it's not, then you go back and you pick it. That's kind of like the survey thing for eHarmony. So.
Oh, okay. So I'm sure this interests the two people who
Keep making throwaway accounts until they accept you.
Yep. So next up, Star Trek Online Season 3 starts December 9th, 2010.
I gotta go back and play that. I haven't remembered to turn the damn thing off, so they charge me every 3 months.
So this adds
I
mission
sucked.
creation beta. So
Yeah, they got a contest right now. I got an email from them to create your own starship, and if they like the design, they'll put it on there, and then you get like booby prizes, and one of them's like
So
an
speaking-
online subscription for life, and a couple of bonus prizes.
so
on top of
speaking
that.
about boobies, can you describe
Oh.
what your ship is going to be looking like?
Well, the cool thing is too, they'll actually put your ship in the game, of course.
Oh.
But they make a model, a full-size model, like a regular base model that you buy at the store. They
Oh,
make
that's
one of
cool.
your ship and give it to you as well, and it comes fully painted. And I think they give you a PC that's custom painted with Star Trek on it,
Huh.
like a custom laptop or a custom PC
Oh.
of some sort as well. So it's a pretty cool contest. But
I'm sure in about a year there'll be some very interesting custom missions. So we'll have to see if it lasts a year.
it's making a year, so
So-
it's
so-
gonna be a year here. What, in February?
I don't
It's
even
like
know.
January. No, I started the end of January. I think.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't even.
Because I joined it in February after it had already been out.
I really wanted to be interested in that game, and it never ended up being the case.
So when you design your ship, use Minecraft as a model, make it all nice and square.
Yeah.
They already did that. It's called a Borg.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hey, how come no one's made a Borg ship out of
Actually,
Minecraft?
they just started integrating Borg parts into the Federation stuff, so now you're getting these new bonus parts that you can do special things with, and they're doing what they can to keep it alive and perpetuate it. So
If you had Borg parts and you attached to your ship, wouldn't your whole ship become Borgified?
Borg, if I know.
Well, you have to keep the Borg parts separate. Put them in like a Ziploc or something.
Yeah,
That's how it works in Trek, right?
shrink wrapped or something.
Oh, okay.
You get the heat gun out and you.
And no, actually, what you do is you get the picture of the Borg parts, and then you put that on the shelf, and you keep the
Yeah,
actual stuff
yeah,
in the back.
Yeah.
And then when someone looks for it, it says, "Nope, can't find it."
Yeah. Oh, there was some
This
disappointed
this
people when
retail
that
humor
happened.
has been brought to you by
Some
Diehard
people
Gamer.
were really disappointed when the game that had been sitting on the shelf for like 2 years, 3 years.
got
and
sold the day that they wanted
well, no, they would come in asking to buy it. We'd be like, "Holy crap, they want to buy it!" And then we couldn't find the innards in the back. Like,
it. Oh.
fuck.
So next up, Fallout New Vegas mission pack get. It's called Dead Money and comes out December 21st. So the expansion pack for Fallout will come out before actual bugs that will be fixed at some
They
point.
just put a big. They just did a big patch release.
They
just
did.
this last week.
There's still
Yeah,
bugs.
man, so,
Hey,
it's just
you
a matter of
know,
time.
if we go by the general sort of history of this sort of thing, the every download pack we get brings us closer to the Game of the Year version.
Ah,
So
Yeah, and they'll put that out in about 4 months.
and that's
Yeah.
well
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
assu-
it's spring sometime.
that's assuming that the mission
Maybe
pack
6.
doesn't have bugs.
Oh, I mean, it will. I mean, even the Game of the Year version had bugs in it for Fallout 3, but it was still an amazing game.
Oh yeah.
So there's bugs all over the place in Fallout 3 still.
Oh, I know.
So
And they're trying to sell that engine. Was it the Game Bro engine?
Game
Or-
Brio
Yeah.
engine.
Game Bro.
Game Bro.
So to take off on the Nintendo.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so if you want to buy that engine, which
Why are they trying to
Kinda
sell that? I suppose they don't. They must have something else coming up if they're trying to sell that engine.
I
Are they trying to sell it, or are they trying to license it?
I think they're trying to sell it. I'll
That'd
have
be
to
kinda
double
weird.
check.
They
on
must
that.
have something else that they're working on. Then.
Unreal Engine Rage.
So who knows?
So next up, OnLive. It's still a thing. So their micro console, they've started accepting pre-orders, and the device is available for $99. And purchasers will receive one free game for their service with their purchase. The wait to get the units won't be very long at all. The first consoles will be coming out December 2nd.
Did you read
If you
the,
care about OnLive.
did you read the Penny Arcade thing about this today?
No, I did not.
They have a couple of these,
Yeah.
and they said, on one hand, it's kind of neat for some genres because you can, since there's a Mac client for it, you can play games that are never going to make it to the Mac on the Mac. On the other hand, when you're playing it and you're playing, I think he said Arkham Asylum. When you're playing Arkham Asylum and you hit jump and he jumps whenever he damn well gets around to doing it, that's a problem.
So the comic that they made for it was very accurate to.
Yeah. So that's pretty much that.
So no interest in OnLive, I'm assuming from.
I just
And-
shelled out $550 for a new 360 setup, so no.
550.
Yeah. It's $400 for the thing, plus
was
two
$299.
games, and
I thought was it the two games that come with it, or did you?
no, there's
actually-
only one game that comes with it. The packing game is only one DVD. And there's two other games I bought.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about Steve's descent into madness here a little later.
Descent into my calves are so sore today. It's not even funny.
Do I say giggity after that, or how does that work?
I don't know. I think you only get to say giggity if a pelvis is involved.
Maybe some sort of thrust.
Some sort of thrusting. I did learn many thrusting moves, however.
Salt and pepper will teach you a few.
So
There were
yeah,
some ridiculous little thrusty, like hippie move things in the Funky Town thing. I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
all right.
My mid body
parents
does.
didn't do this.
The middle of my body does not move in that way. I don't really know how that's possible. It's like
Alright.
physically
well,
not
that's
a
part
thing.
of getting to Funky Town. You have to find a way.
They do some sort of surgery on you that allows you to move in that fashion.
So last bit of news, because it's been kind of a light month for news for some strange reason, probably because that there's no news while they're releasing all the games in the world come Friday.
Yeah.
Is Lord of the Rings Online: Rise of Isengard,
Rise of Isengard.
which would be awesome for people who still have an interest in playing Lord of the Rings Online, which is no one.
Mr. Mike Robeson
Oh, Pasty Mike's playing it.
plays that because this game is now also free to play.
Oh.
So
They
But
should
is it
all
a
be
good-
free to play
is
in the beginning?
is it
and,
a good
after
game?
you hit a certain point of playing it, then you pay monthly.
Yeah.
Well,
tell
it's-
that to Blizzard.
I think it's that I think it's that deal where you can play the whole game free, but you will advance faster if you actually shell out for stuff. So
You know, hey, that's a good.
that
trade-off.
seems to be what the thing is now. So
I think that's a good way to go because at least you get the experience. You get a good amount of gameplay in there, and you really decide whether you like it or not. And then
man,
if it works out, you just start paying for it.
it was an okay game, but it just felt too much again like WoW. So,
Yeah.
which felt too much like Dark Age of Camelot, which felt too much like EverQuest.
All right. You want to
Which
throw in
felt too much like
Meridian
Ultima
59? You want
yeah.
to add that in here too?
felt too much like Ultima 7.
Okay. So,
Felt too much like Questron.
you want to add Dwarf Fortress
Yeah.
after
Do
this?
you have an ASCII game in there?
Yeah,
you want to reference?
that is Questron.
Oh,
Questron
okay.
is an ASCII game, or NetHack, but which felt too much like
Come on,
Something
Steve.
Bard's Tale.
Yeah.
Something written on paper.
Yeah, it felt too much like the Palladium Fantasy RPG.
Ah. So,
Oh, what was that? I was watching
Steve's
what
doing
movie were
Steve's
we
doing
watched
his
that?
Burt
It was
Connections
Paranormal
here.
State. We were it's Paranormal Events. We were watching that movie and
On-
Paranormal Events, the movie, that indie movie about whatever Paranormal Activity. That's what it is.
You watched
Where-
that on purpose?
Yeah, 'cause actually it had some
It's really good until the
well,
last 2 minutes of it.
John,
and you're
it-
like,
it-
what?
it
was
really-
like the stupidest ending they could have given that.
It-
Show.
You mean like Blair
no,
Witch?
because the movie really devolves into the same trap that Blair Witch had, where by the middle of the movie everyone's a dick and you don't care anymore.
Ah,
You know, but there's some really interesting
effects are awesome.
there's some really interesting practical effects that are done in that movie that you're like, now that was really interesting and I want to
And
know
they
how
literally
they did it.
Give you a scared feeling. I mean, it's like, wow, this
Well,
is kind
it's-
of real. You know.
Well,
That
it
could
doesn't
happen.
look, I mean, a lot of it is enabled by the fact that when the special effects happen, it's through this like filtered videotape view, which is another downfall of the movie, which is, okay, now it's time for scary things to happen. You know, you get this, it's bound over your head. Get
Yeah.
ready, scary things are going to
There
happen.
might have
But
been, might as well have been theme music behind it.
yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. But in any event, he's looking up, you know, the name of some demon or something in this book in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
That book is a source book for the Palladium Fantasy RPG.
well,
I was
that's
like, this
awesome.
looks really familiar. I'm like, holy crap, it is.
Well, it was an indie movie. They
Yeah.
couldn't go real book.
I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that book was still being published. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's not that many people that play the Palladium Fantasy RPG now, much less back then when, you know, it was D&D or you were a freak.
Overall,
So
I thought it was a pretty decent movie for the most part. It just the ending was just so stupid. It's like they just caved at the very end to the most basest, stupidest thing they could have done. I'm like,
Oh,
you know, you
so they
should
were-
have just ended it before that.
they were Japanese then.
Ugh.
It's Japanese filmmaking at its best. Well,
So-
you have this really great, interesting movie. And I mean, I didn't like Paranormal State because, like I said, I didn't care about the characters because they're all dicks by about 45 minutes in. But
So no chance that Steve's
Girl
going
was
to be
kinda cute.
watching Ringu 3 anytime soon.
you know, I really have to psych myself up to watch Japanese movies because I'm so convinced that I'm going to be disappointed by the last 15 minutes of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's so consistent.
So our feature, our first of a couple features today, we're going to talk about Steve's new purchase.
Ah.
So he bought himself a sex droid from Japan. No, wait.
No, he's got to save up another year for that.
They're not quite ready yet.
Yeah.
You see the thing with the
You never buy
the-
the first
the,
iteration of it. You
the
wait for
android
the
that did
second one.
like the pop idol thing.
Oh, was
dance.
that on
Oh, yeah.
Japanator?
I don't know if it was on
No,
Japanator
it
or
was on- I
not,
saw it
but
on device.
Yeah,
too.
I saw that.
and you're like, holy crap, this thing like actually kind of moves like a
Looks-
human. I mean, it did, and I mean, it just stands in one place most of the time. It does some little steps, but it does all these off-axis bends and poses that are really easy for humans to do and really, really difficult for robots to do. And so you're like,
Super
wow,
articulated.
this is really interesting. Now all I have to do is not make it look like totally creepy.
Well, I'm sure the Japanese are hard at work at that.
Well, they just have to integrate. They have to get the components small enough so that they fit inside their current sex doll lines, and they'll be set. Because their current
They're
sex
not
doll
really
dolls, you look at them and you go like, huh, these are kind of hot. And then you look at the American versions, you're like, oh my god, what the hell? He's gonna it, but I don't understand why the replicants
that's
won't
not-
leave me alone.
That's not normal.
So
Rutger Hauer in a wig does not make for a sex droid.
I don't have anything else to top that, really. So Steve went ahead and bought Kinect. He actually bought an Xbox 360 with the Kinect.
Well, he just bought the pack in, but he
Yeah.
already had a 360,
I bought the pack because, yeah.
So what convinced you to buy the Kinect instead of just buying a plain old Xbox 360?
He already
Because
had one.
I have interest in motion technology
Okay.
and virtual interfaces.
Okay.
I also had an interest in having a bigger hard drive than 20 gigs.
Oh, well, there's that. So Kinect, you have what games do you have? Kinectimals, I'm assuming. You're a furry simulator.
Yeah, I don't know what the game's about. I have the stupid pack-in, which
That's at Kinect Adventures.
yeah, which Brian actually liked,
It's fun. They got
but
Tubin on
Tubin.
there.
it is pretty much Tubin.
Yeah.
It really is. It's kind of how you wish Tubin would have been when you first played it.
All right.
They had some fun stuff, and then I got Dance Central, and I got the Your Fitness Advanced that I haven't tried yet.
It's basically part of the pack-in thing with, it's like everything you'd get on there if you bought the Wii,
So-
all your kind of run-of-the-mill games that you fully utilize it to make you look like a total
So,
star.
from my understanding, you've played probably more of Dance Central than anything else.
I
So-
have. Now, granted, I have literally only played this game or had this system for
3 days.
2.5 days.
Oh yeah, you bought it Saturday, right?
Friday night.
That's enough to do an IGN review of it.
Yeah, it's more than enough to do an IGN review on. I give it a 7. On a scale of 1 to 4. But
It's not inaccurate.
hey, it's
It's fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean everybody can get into the dance game.
Now,
It's kind of weird how addictive.
not
and fun
everyone.
It is.
if Scott Kurtz can get into the dance games, anybody can get into the dance games.
I won't. I have a reputation to keep.
I don't think that's a reputation you need to keep.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna help you.
Yeah. So, Dance Central, fun time.
Yeah.
Are you planning on picking up any more Kinect games?
Well, I have yet to even play all of the ones that I have now. So
It's a little
Again.
early for a review, probably.
Now,
again,
did
2.5 days.
Did you break out? Was it the night vision goggles to see all the dots and everything?
Oh no, I did not. Although you can sort of kind of because of the cover over the infrared lens, you can kind of see where the beam is going.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you
You
know what
can-
it's got? It's got like a little triangle coming out of it, kind of like the Predators hunting.
Oh,
down.
jeez. It is the Predator.
I mean, you can't see it on you, but you can see the kind of where it's going because of the weird polarized like lens thing that
It's
they
just
have
'cause
over the
it's
front of it.
focused at that point, but when it comes out, I'm
Eh.
sure it spreads out the farther it goes. So.
It is kind of cool the first time because when you turn on the 360, it like does this calibration thing, so it moves around, like figuring out where the room is. And when you do the calibration, there's all sorts of calibration stuff it does.
It's like an oversized Robbie the Robot head.
Yeah, I mean it does all sorts of. It has you do if it's doing the room, it does all this video calibration of the room size and the room depth and stuff. And then because it has a microphone, it does all this like background ambient sound like things, so it can tell what the general background sound is for the room that you're in, and then it filters that out.
Huh.
So
That's interesting.
and then
So at least from a technology standpoint, it's at least, and I'll be honest, it's interesting.
What
From
they're
a
doing is-
technology
it's like they're
standpoint.
taking another leap from what the Wii did with just a controller. Now they're introducing your entire body into the picture.
Well, and what ours was saying is very true about the interface. I mean, the interface is still at kind of a primitive elementary level as far as utilizing the thing. But
I don't think they fully know what to do with it yet.
well, the Dance Central interface is way better than the packing game interfaces. The Grand Central one is very much, you have a menu and there's a bunch of lines and you move your hand up and down on your side in order to pick the menu, and then you have to basically connect the line to the rest of the menu to select it. And so you move your hand up and then you move your hand across and you're completing that line.
So it's Minority Report is basically what's
No,
going on.
it's definitely on the edge of it though. It looks so.
It's
you
pretty
can
close.
See the possibility of it in there, and it's
So
like,
every
oh,
time
they
you get
just
an
refined
achievement,
it,
a
you
little
know.
wooden ball comes down, and
I have found though, I've started to, because it seems to work better. If when you're using, at least with the Dance Central one, if you use your hand like the Kung Fu dudes, where you use two fingers at the end and you point out your index finger and your middle finger and you flick across with that, it seems to track it better. It's kind of fun because it looks like anytime you use the Kinect, there's like a little there's like a little like an picture-in-picture thing that shows what the Kinect sees, and I mean it doesn't have for the pack-in, but it does for Dance Central and for the dashboard, and it knows where your hands are, and your hands glow in the little inside thing, and so you can see what the camera sees, and it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you see the little picture in black and white.
Yeah.
I'll need to check this out.
Or it's in that
Yeah.
it's like reverse polarity looking kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird deal. But
It's a
like
negative,
It's the
or
Predator.
negative, I guess.
no, it's like it's the Predator if you were watching it on a 3-inch black and white TV. But the like the couple of reviews says none of this uses the skeleton wireframe stuff yet. So that should be should make stuff even
It's
better.
not quite virtual fighter quality yet.
Yeah.
Supposedly, and I was telling these guys, supposedly you're supposed to be able to tell the damn thing to go to sleep and wake up walking in from the voice stuff, but I can't figure out how to make it do that. I can yell at it and usually make it go to the dashboard or play something, but if you're in a noisy room and a lot of people are talking, it gets confused and it'll start just doing whatever. So, like we were trying to well, try doing this. So I tried to tell it, play Zune, and other people picked like 3 other things to say at the same time, and it started Last FM instead. So
That's awesome.
I don't know.
Have you tried having it kill someone?
No,
Like-
I have not. I
Okay.
have not. Although it is, I did note that it was interesting. The Dance Central actually doesn't upload photos. I mean, the basic one does, the
Oh, you
Kinect
mean
Adventures.
The video of yourself?
Yeah, the video of yourself isn't stored anywhere. It's for the amusement of your fellow
okay.
players, and you can turn that on or off. But the actual the photos that I take don't get stored anywhere basically. So,
Huh.
but
It's kind of useless.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, it avoids the naked dancing thing. So it is kind of odd that those options are turned on by default. I mean, I know the thought process that was behind turning them on by default, which was these are party games, and so therefore, unless we have them on by default, people won't know to turn them on.
Yeah. Which kind of makes sense because that's why the mic stays on,
Yeah.
and then everybody can hear you arguing with your wife when something goes
And
wrong.
Yeah.
meanwhile in Redmond, Washington, there's a bunch of Microsoft employees that are
Well-
looking at photos from Kinect like they're the TSA.
Well, I don't really understand what people thought was going to happen when you have a peripheral that is a camera with a microphone
Yeah.
in your living room.
Oh, the possibilities.
I mean, seriously. I mean, okay, guess what? If you're dancing in front of it naked, chances are at some point something's going to screw up and the internet gets to see what your dangly bits are. Or as I'm calling my current euphemism for nether regions, your dangly Persephones.
Dangly Persephones.
Yes, because they go down below.
I get the reference.
Or just your Persephones. One of the two.
Well, that. I mean, this just in at Diehard Gamer Radio, Dangling Persephones, the new manga by Shiro.
Yeah. It's done by, what's his name? The guy who did Lane.
Oh,
It's based on dangling parts of the
Abe, Yoshitoshi Abe.
so bottom line, Kinect is worth buying or worth buying at a later time when there's
I don't
more
know. It
stuff.
depends on if you find the thing compelling. Go to Best Buy and see if you like it.
Yeah, you should really go test it out and see if it's.
I'll look at yours.
All I
and
know
then not
is
buy
my
it.
calves are really sore. Actually, my whole body's really sore today. So, because like you could just get your calves sore just by playing DDR, but this thing makes you do you have to actually you have to fucking actually dance, and it's difficult.
Now, can you dance in real life?
No,
Yet you're trying to dance in front of Kinect.
it seems to be working not bad so far.
Yeah, that was probably a bad idea because I sweat so much that my shirt stuck to my back, and then I had
No.
to peel it off the new tattoo.
No.
Ow.
So we'll have video of Steve and Brian dancing on Diehard Gamer Radio.
Dancing is just like martial arts, or martial arts is just like dancing. One of the two. You watch people doing a bunch of moves, you string them together,
And you go home
and
alone.
you're doing a form.
And you've got motion.
Yes.
So, You don't get belts in dancing.
You can get a belt at Target too. Did you watch The Karate Kid? Remember what he said about what belt are you? And Mr. Miyagi says belt size 13, Sears, $4.99.
All right, now. So our last feature for this 101st podcast is that we had this idea of making predictions for the year 2011 in a vain attempt to try and be funny. So do we have any predictions that we want to make for 2011? And I guess
The Cubs win the pennant.
you heard it here first,
Yeah.
folks.
I don't know.
Predict the Avs are going to want to go to the Stanley Cup.
You predict that every year.
Yeah, but this year's going to happen. No, I mean, this year they got a really good
Is this video game related in any way, or was this just general
Oh,
predictions?
man, you know what? They came to my section when I was at the game Friday night giving out free Xbox games, but they only handed them to like the first 3 rows because they won't throw the games out to people. So
Well,
I'm
it's,
sitting like 13
clocked
rows
in
up, and
ahead.
I'm like, throw me one!
Well, yeah. The day that they do that, the disc is gonna fly out of the case and it's gonna decapitate some
kid.
He's like,
so I'll take it on a game in a heartbeat.
yeah, games
Speaking
are
of,
violent.
We don't do game reviews anymore. Why is that?
Because they take too long and nobody wants to listen to one person ramble on for 5 minutes about a game they played.
Yeah, okay.
Unless it's quick.
I gotta say, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was freaking awesome.
And that was the review.
The multiplayer is even better.
Multiplayer was pretty cool looking.
Even Emily liked the multiplayer, and women don't even like these type of games. But it's so intuitive and so much fun to play, and there's enough variety to it that it really is fun to play. It's almost a game in its own. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, but it's not local. I think you have to be on Xbox Live to
Yeah,
play it.
You have to be on live to play it, but you can play it private match with friends.
But you still have to do it through Xbox. You can't do it like LAN.
Yeah, there's no local LAN.
There's no system like.
You really wouldn't want it anyways because you need as much visual screen for that game as you can see. It's not something you want to squeeze together.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's worth me getting Xbox Live Gold just to play multiplayer and get my ass handed to me by like a 12-year-old kid.
It's a fun game to play, and it's one of those things where you really got to know what you're doing to play it. So it gets, there's a few kids on there, so there's always going to be that element. But for the most part, people are pretty smart, and when you get up into the higher levels, kids won't get up to that point and still,
Yeah, I think I'll stick to the single player, which, interests me a little bit more, but I just don't have the fucking time to play it right now. I mean, it's gonna be $39.99 come Black Friday, so
yeah, I posted that on Facebook just for that reason, so people would see all the.
so
prices down, so.
I think the game's worth $39.
Oh, totally.
So
I paid. It was weird. I pre-ordered Castlevania, so I got a $20 credit through Amazon. So I put that towards. Brotherhood, and I bought the extended limited edition deal, and that was $100. So that was 20 off the top of that. And then they sent me an email the day after they shipped it and said, "Hey, we had a $10 price drop, so we credited that back." So it ended up being like $10 more than the regular game price to get all the limited edition stuff.
that's not bad.
Which was just totally awesome. So Amazon is just rocking the games market right now. They're offering free money credit towards future purchases if you pre-order certain games.
Yeah, but I have a game coming in from PlayAsia here in about a week. So I'll be busy with Dodon Pachi Daifukatsu here in a few.
Oh yeah, I just downloaded Guange. That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
Yeah, play the Xbox 360 mode. You'll unlock most of the achievements in that.
Oh yeah, I played just the arcade mode, but I want to play the multiplayer on that and try that out. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks kind of reminiscent of there was a game out on the Neo Geo that was like that.
Ninja Commando.
Commando, yeah. Same kind of thing. Just kind of took me back to that, and I was like, I love these overhead, up-scrolling ground.
Yeah, and Guange is really, really freaking hard.
Yeah, it is.
So, Steve, any predictions you want to make? I'm assuming they can be video game related, but as I've been listening to this conversation, it doesn't seem to be the case. So,
no, I guess.
okay.
I just finished Bioshock 2 last night.
Bioshock 2?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize you were through Bioshock.
Yes. Amazing game.
Really?
Bioshock 2, pretty cool game. Not as good as Bioshock 1.
Would I like Bioshock?
I don't know. Do you like adventure games that sometimes involve you shooting things?
Well, I did like Fallout 3. And
It's not really like Fallout 3. It's more like
more of an FPS.
well, it's not really more of an FPS because you can. It's not a run and gun FPS. There's shooting involved, but it really is an adventure game. You have to go around. You have to find stuff. You have to solve puzzles. It's just that people are shooting at you at the time.
Yeah.
It's less of a there's more of a story there than most FPSs.
So,
Storyline's pretty awesome though.
okay.
Second one is pretty good, but at times it kind of felt like they were really trying to stretch out the game a bit. Wasn't awful. I didn't hate myself for going through and doing all the stuff, but
Okay. So, no predictions from Steve. So my predictions are, well, let's see. PlayStation will burn up, and they will decide to come out with the PlayStation 4 that will retail for $1,099. It will be 3D, and they will come out with a downloadable firmware update for the PlayStation 3 that will disable all gameplay on it, forcing everyone to buy a PlayStation 4.
huh.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
How's that work for you?
Whatever.
Okay.
Guess
Well-
that would matter to people that play on the PlayStation 3 enough.
Well, I mean, I my other predictions I got to keep to myself because I want to, make sure that I have all my lottery winnings. I don't want to split it up among 30 different people.
Ah.
I have a plan. So, is that it for the podcast? I think so.
Yeah, I'll say so.
I guess.
Okay.
Something.
Well, thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. We will be back at some later time.
And, the new year.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah,
go over our predictions
Yes.
with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.